Hi, and welcome to my 2021 MDDP project, Venice, The Curse of the Cruise Ships. This follows on from a couple of other projects on the cruising industry, but this time instead of focusing on the ships, we're going to look at the particular issues associated with a much visited cruise destination, Venice, which has really a love-hate relationship with the cruise industry for reasons which will become clear. Venice doesn't really need an introduction. It's a World Heritage Site which is much visited, over 25 million tourists per annum, of whom about 10% arrive by cruise ship. And this is very much what people expect to see when they get to Venice. Lovely calm canals with gondolas and beautiful buildings and panoramic views out into the lagoon. Actually, the reality is often very different, as we'll see in a moment. But here's the reality. A giant cruise ship sailing through the historic city centre going to or from the cruise terminal. They sail right past St Mark's and up the Judica Canal past many historic buildings. Now these are absolutely enormous. They can be up to 300 metres long and 60 metres tall, and at any one time there could potentially be as many as 8 of these in the city. Just to make the point even more clearly, here's a similar shape in a slightly different location. Need I say more? Now, Venice has long known it needs to solve this problem, but there is no simple, short-term or cheap solution, and it is frankly a hot potato. But they have tried a few things to try and help while a longer-term solution is found. One obvious thing that Venice has tried is to ban large ships from either the city centre or indeed for the whole of the lagoon, and a couple of attempts have been made which completely failed. However, finally, in August 2021, a ban was implemented, and at the moment it does appear that it has stuck and no cruise ships have entered the lagoon since the 1st of August. Now, obviously, Venice doesn't want to lose its tourist income from the cruise ships for however many years it will take to implement one of the solutions which we'll discuss in the next slide. So, in the meantime, an interim solution has been proposed, as shown in this slide. Now, this has some advantages, but perhaps the biggest disadvantage is, as you can see, Margara has often been christened Mordor on the lagoon. So there might be a short-term solution, but in the longer term there seem to be 3 ideas which are being given serious consideration. And these are a new purpose-built terminal at Marghera, a new man-made terminal in the Adriatic but outside of the Venice Lagoon, and moving all cruise traffic away from the Venice Lagoon altogether to an alternative port on the Adriatic coast. So now to the project itself, which not surprisingly is to find a solution to the curse of the cruise ships. This will involve evaluating all the possible options to decide on a location for a new terminal, to design a terminal, and the transport links between the terminal and the city and the terminal and the airport, etc. And of course, all of this needs to be done in the most environmentally friendly and sustainable ways. The first part of the project will be one of review and evaluation. So this will mean looking at the existing situation, looking at the interim solution, and looking at all the possible long-term solutions for relocation of the cruise terminal. And it will involve a range of engineering disciplines, but particularly civil, mechanical, electrical, process and environmental. The output from this will be the choice of a location for the new terminal. The main part of the project will be the design of the terminal itself, and this will obviously cover construction, provision of all the services, provision of transport infrastructure between the terminal and Venice and the terminal and elsewhere in Italy and the rest of the world. And of course, all of this must be done with environmental aspects uppermost in your mind and will appeal to the engineering disciplines listed on the slide. So we end up with you, the students, having made all your deliverables, we, the examiners, being exhausted by 2 very gruelling final days. But at that point, I hope we all feel a great sense of satisfaction and achievement, that you have enjoyed yourselves and worked hard, and that we've all learned a great deal. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing some of you in my project groups.